AM 1450 WCEV Radio, where Chicagoland's ethnic voice and the voice of the Utes. That's two Utes in that particular song. That is from the Bad Boy Joe presentation. No, not Bad Boy Bill. There's a Bad Boy Joe in New York, everybody. He put together a compilation entitled Freestyle Dance Party with new dance remixes, and one of the dance remixes, something that you probably haven't heard enough of, Lizette Melendez and Cynthia, I Can't Change Your Mind, right here on AM 1450 WCEV Radio. Club Kids Radio, no Club Kids in studio on this Sunday, the 23rd day of May, Y2K plus 10, because we've got a celebrity hotline conversation that we recorded last week, and we have not yet aired it, and it's going to be pretty neat. She's an 11-year-old singer, dancer, actress, model. If you go on YouTube and you look for Elizabeth Elias, you'll find the videos and you'll hear the songs, and you'll say, wow, this kid's only 11? Talking about 11-year-olds. My goddaughter niece, Sylvia Badea's 11th birthday party was yesterday at a big bouncy place in Crown Point, Indiana. She's 11, she's bouncy, she's wearing her socks, she's following all the rules, everybody's having a good time. In the meanwhile, Elizabeth Elias is on YouTube and on Sábado Gigante and on Telemundo and doing all kinds of commercials, and we're going to hear from her in just a smidge. But I should say yo to those who have said yo to me this morning, the first hour or so. I'm sitting here chatting in the chat box, promoting the radio show and asking people to tune in, and so far I've talked to Lisa Torres, former Club Kid. Also, Amanda Velez was a former member of Club Kids Radio. Samantha Pagan, sitting ovation for Samantha and Vaughn Whitaker. They both had their senior proms, what was it, yesterday, Friday, for the Noble Street Charter High School. Bianca Farlinger, the other goddaughter niece, whose 16th birthday was last weekend. Moses Flores, another Club Kid, who we're going to feature after 10:30. We'll play a bit when he called in and had something to say about things that were happening here on Club Kids Radio. Yesenia Oviedo, who is back in town. She's going back to work. She'll be at our camp in Salem, Wisconsin. Tony Whitaker, whose son was with Samantha at that prom, but they were not together. And then Rachel Gonzalez, who is listening in Indiana, a whole nother point, not Hobart and not Crown Point, just another point of Indiana. What is it, East Chicago, something like that? Something else that I want to mention real quick before we get into the interview. There is a Natasha McShane event coming up on June the 13th. If you don't know, here in Chicago, Natasha McShane was brutally beaten with a baseball bat in Bucktown, not very far from our Boys and Girls Clubs. And they're raising money for her. She's still in recovery. She's in not very good shape. And on June 13th, from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m., there's going to be a benefit at the Irish American Heritage Center. That is 4626 North Knox Avenue. The Irish American Heritage Center, 4626 North Knox Avenue. And it is a fundraiser from Natasha McShane, because she's going to have a lot of, well, she already has a lot of bills in terms of the hospital and recovery and things like that. And it was an insanely senseless... Right off, there's a viaduct over on North Milwaukee, Damon, and you're going a little bit north of North Avenue, and it's a crazy thing. But if you go to helpnatasha.net, www.helpnatasha.net, I'm sure you'll get more information on the Natasha McShane donation. I stuttered through that newscast, didn't I? It's because when I know that there's so many Club Kids listening and saying, oh man, we're listening, we're with you, have fun, sound great, then I start stuttering. 10:12 already. So I'll tell you what, we've got to get into the Elizabeth Elias interview. It was a celebrity hotline conversation. It was pre-recorded because Sundays are kind of rough for her. It's family time, number one. She also performs everywhere. So we had a conversation last Saturday to play back now. It is a celebrity hotline conversation. Tell us what you think. Elizabeth Elias. We go to the celebrity hotline. Elizabeth Elias, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, and you?
I'm doing all right. This has been a while in coming, hasn't it? We've kind of discovered each other on the Facebook of all things, and we talked about putting you on, and we're finally able to have the opportunity to have you on Celebrity Hotline, and it's a Saturday morning. I know you've got a busy life, so I'm glad that you're able to take some time out.
No, but thank you for having me.
You know what, Elizabeth? I'm going to tell you that the thing that drove me to click on your Facebook, and I think you clicked on mine too, some of the influences that we had in common, me professionally speaking, and I guess you growing up, you are, I don't even want to say you're a closet freestyle fan, because it's not in the closet, it's there for everybody to see. Some of the people that we have in common are people that I know personally from throughout the years, and you, You're about to be 12 years old, yet you can say that Sally Botello and Lizette Melendez are amongst the people that you communicate with?
Yeah.
How does that happen? Their music is like twice as old as you are.
Yeah. Well, I get it from my parents, because since, they listen to all those kind of music, I guess, like, they passed it on to me.
Well, that was the most ironic thing of all, because I remember clicking and I says, okay, I'm not sure who Elizabeth Elias is, but I'm looking at her, and she's got Lizette, and she's got Sal, and she's got Lugo here from Chicago, and Rio Lopez, who does, some work in New York and sometimes in Puerto Rico. I'm like, how does a 12-year-old get connected with those types of people? And I said, I've got to talk to this little girl just to see what those influences were, because, it's fascinating, but it's also gratifying to me to see that genre of music still being paid respect to by young people, because I always thought it was an underappreciated form of music. And of course, that's selfishly speaking, because I was doing freestyle music radio back in 1986 until now. And it's just pretty neat to have somebody who's young to be into that type of music.
Oh, I just love music.
The other thing that impresses me about you is everything that we've done in terms of communicating and setting up the interview and talking via email and messages and things like that. You're hands-on. It's like you're doing this, and I know you're not doing this on your own, but it's like you're doing it on your own. You're promoting yourself, you're pushing yourself, and you're out there where a lot of times with a young artist, they've got a tentacled monster that controls every aspect of the career.
Yeah. My mom, she, would try her hardest to, promote myself. But, I always try, to help her, because I really want to be, a great star right now or when I get bigger, Well,
anybody that is interested in becoming, like you call, a great star, yours is the perfect example to set, because you're on the Facebook, your videos all over YouTube. Anything that you've done, people could have access to either through the Facebook or through YouTube or through your own website. You've done an incredible amount of things for somebody as young as you are. Your resume is bigger than a lot of adults.
Well, thank you.
So let's find out a little bit about Elizabeth Elias. You're young, but you've done so much. How did this all start? Did you come out of the womb dancing or what?
Well, when I was 3, I started dancing, ballet. And from there, I started doing a lot of hip-hop, jazz, all those kind of stuff. And then, when I was, maybe 8, my music teacher asked me to join the choir for our school. And from there, I just started, singing.
And the funny thing...
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I thought you were going to talk about a little bit about your singing. I was going to say the funny thing is that you're based out of Miami, Florida, which, it's a hotbed for certain things, but it's not necessarily a hotbed for somebody that's going to sing and dance and act. So everything that you've done, you've kind of done out of the lower East Coast, which it can't be that easy.
Física y matemática son más fáciles de lo que crees. Tu educación para que sea completa.
El amor hay que aprender, el profesor va a enseñarte
Cómo prepararte
para enamorarte de mí y yo de ti. Es algo tan fácil como esta canción.
ABC, más fácil que 1, 2, 3, más simple que mi, do, re. ABC, 1,
Hey, this is George Lopez of ABC's George Lopez. That's right. I'm with my man Harv Roman. I wake up dancing in Chicago.
No, it's not easy, but I just love doing it, you know. I always tried, you know.
How typical is your life in terms of going to school and hanging with buddies and things like that? Because again, if you look up Elizabeth Elias, you're going to see so many videos and appearances on TV and radio. And I know you're about to say, I'm just a regular kid hanging out, but how are you able to do all of that and juggle school and homework and everything else?
Well, I'm very busy, but I always try to find some time to hang out with my friends and to just have a normal life, you know?
Tell me about, now, something I did not realize is that you had done some dancing with the NBA teams and with Major League Baseball teams. I didn't know that they had junior squads for those teams.
Yes, they have. For the Miami Heat, they have the Junior Jam dancers. And for the Marlins, they have the Marlins Minnows. And
you've been I guess a junior dancer for these teams. What does that entail?
Well, yes, I've been in these junior jams and the minnows too. But it's like a dance team, you know.
And you guys were
we perform like in half times and, you know, during game time. It's a lot of fun.
How does the audience respond to the juniors? Because you know that they have the big adult cheer squads, and the audience goes nuts for them. How do they react when they see half-sized people doing the same thing?
Oh, they love it. They're always like, "Woo, yeah!" Like they're like always like surprised that we like little kids know how to dance so good, you know.
Now, the first song that you had tipped me off about was the remake of the ABC song, and you guys did it in salsa and you did it in English. Tell me about that project, and tell me about the group B Kids, because it's not all about Elizabeth Elias. You're also part of a group.
Yes. Well, I auditioned when I was 8 for B Kids. We sang and danced a lot, and from there they just picked me.
Now, what are the B Kids exactly? What would this be comparable to? Is it similar to, I can't say menudo because you're so young, you probably wouldn't even know what the process was, but is it similar to menudo in which there was auditions and then people would just rotate out as they got older?
Well, I think, yeah.
And the guy that's managing and producing a lot of the music is somebody that a lot of salsa fans would recognize, wouldn't they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, Sergio.
His name is Sergio George.
Sergio George, who had also done some work with Lizette Melendez back when she went from freestyle to salsa. So you're following in some incredible footsteps.
Yes.
The other thing I've noticed, Elizabeth, is you seem to favor music that is a little classic, music that has been out before. And I only say that because I'm looking at what I've looked at online and I've downloaded in terms of the music. You've just redid a Whitney Houston song. You did a tribute to Selena. You did the ABC song with the B Kids. It almost sounds as if you're a throwback to 15, 20 years ago. Is this something that you're doing, purposefully, or you just really do like the music of the past?
No, I just really like the music from the past because it has good rhythm. It's very classical. I just love it.
And if you look at the videos too, what you're doing is you're doing a very nice family-friendly presentation, which I think is huge when it comes to music for young people, because you're a young person yourself, and if you listen to the radio and if you look at the videos that are out now, a lot of it is so questionable that you really don't want to expose young people to it, but it's hard to hide from it.
Yeah.
So what's the image that you're trying to portray compared to some of the images that are out there? Because you also kind of have to battle what everybody expects from young people.
Well, I mean, I just love doing music, whatever kind it is. I mean, it's just, it gives me the feeling that I'm going to do good at it and that I'm going to love it too. And
so you buy into it. Do you have somebody picking out songs, or do you sit there and say, I think I like the way this sounds. I think it's about time that we redid that song, Or is it your personal touch, for instance, that decided that, a Selena song would be a nice song to redo?
No me queda más que perderme en un abismo de tristeza y lágrimas. No me queda más que aguantar mi derrota y brindarte felicidad. No me queda más si tu regreso hoy sería una imposibilidad. Y esto que no es amor, lo que niegas, lo que dices que nunca pasó, ese más dulce recuerdo de mi vida. Yo tenía una esperanza en el fondo de mi alma, que un día te quedaras tú conmigo. Y ahora daba una ilusión que alimentaba mi corazón que hoy tiene que verte como solo amigo. Y aunque vivir enamorada y totalmente equivocada, no me importa, porque esto sí fue amor. Por mi parte, lo más lindo, el más grande amor. Y aunque siempre lo renuncies, para mí fue lo más bello.
That's Elizabeth Elias music. You can find that video on the YouTube. Just look up her name, Elizabeth Elias, or look her up on the Facebook, or look her up under my Facebook. Clickety-click, and you'll be able to find out all about her. That's a Selena remix that she did. And if you look at the video, it's like split screen, and you see some Selena images, you see some Elizabeth images, and it's pretty neat. It is 1026 Club Kids Radio, Harv Roma with a celebrity hotline conversation with the young artist Elizabeth Elias herself. We've heard music from her, but I have to say, to a couple of generations of listeners right now. Former Club Kid Moses Flores, his daughter Amanda's listening. So like 2 generations, you got dad and daughter listening, and she wants to say, she thinks I rock, so I got her fooled. And then Rachel's listening in Indiana over at www.cev1450.com, and Gabriel happens to be listening, that's her son, and he listens to the ABC song and starts bopping his head and saying, I know that song, and then it comes out in Spanish, and he's tripping. So it's pretty neat what we're doing right here on Club Kids Radio. 1026, so we've got another segment of Elizabeth Elias coming up with about 5 minutes or so. We take our brequecito, then we finish off the interview with Elizabeth Elias, and if we have time, I want to replay a telephone conversation that we had with Moises Flores not that long ago right here on AM 1450. In the meanwhile, more celebrity hotline conversation. I know you want to learn about this kid. Or is it your personal touch, for instance, that decided that, a Selena song would be a nice song to redo?
Yes, it was all me. I thought that the Selena one was going to be a good one because, she was like a great singer. She sang Spanish and English. It's just incredible how good she was.
Well, it's interesting, too, because the year that she left us was the year that you arrived, yet if you look at the video and there's split screens and there's a lot of comparisons between, you and a young her, I found that interesting that most kids your age would have no idea, unless they watched the movie with Jennifer Lopez, who Selena even is, but you took a lot out of her and presented it in your own version, and it was a really, really classy job that you did.
Thank you.
It also seems to me when I look at a video for Footprints in the Sand that there's some faith in your life as well.
Yes, I did that song for, about Haiti, about the earthquake. I did it because I wanted them to know that God is always by their side, since they've been through a lot so far,
What is it like for young people right now, such as yourself, to see a lot of the things that are occurring, like Haiti and earthquakes and floods, and it's got to be crazy to think I'm about to turn 12 years old and this world looks like it's about to go upside down. How do you keep the positive vibes that you've got? Because the young people that I work with, and on a full-time basis, I work at a school, and before that I ran a boys and girls clubs, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of young people that really don't feel as if things are going to get better before they get worse, except you have got some huge positive energy happening.
Well, I feel very sad about them, but I know that I have faith in them, and I know that everything God is giving them is going to come true,
Tell me about some of the traveling that you've done. You've done a lot of traveling. You've done more traveling than most of us will do in a lifetime. It's an exciting life that you're leading right now, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's very exciting.
Where are some of the places that you've gone and performed that you would consider to be highlights of your young performing career right now?
Wow, I don't know where to start.
Because you've been everywhere, that's why.
Oh, yeah, everywhere. I mean, we done a lot of promotional tours. Like, we went to a lot of TV shows, and it's been so much that I just can't remember.
It's interesting because you sing, you dance, you act, you model. I mean, you're putting on all these hats, and at some point it might come to, okay, no more triple threat stuff, no more hitting home runs. If you wanted to focus on something that you really thought you were going to dive into as you get older, how do you think your mark is going to be left?
Well, I've always wanted to be like, a dancer, but to me, I just want to be a singer from now on. It's just, I love singing. I don't know. It's amazing.
And it's neat because you do a little bit of everything. Like I said before, I mean, it's not any one particular style. When you listen to what you've come up with, you've done a little bit of everything. If there was a style that you thought you were going to be partial to, what do you think it would be?
Oh, that's very hard. I don't know. Maybe salsa, maybe pop. I don't know. It's between there.
It was funny because the first time I played the salsa version of ABC for the Club Kids radio program, and I had kids in studio listening, they were tapping their feet and they were bopping their heads, and then it came out in Spanish and they tripped. How did that decision come about that you needed to make this a bilingual project rather than just an all-English project?
It's just, Be Kids, it's a Latin group. So that's why we did ABC in Spanish, like in salsa and cumbia. That's why.
See, people. I guess most people probably wouldn't even know that unless they looked up B Kids and knew that it was more of a Spanish thing. Because to me, I just thought it was a regular group that's out there making noise. But it's a Latin-based group, then, huh?
Yes, it is.
Well, there you go. 1031 Club Kids Radio, Harv Roman Live. Maritza Cabrera is also in the chat box as we're talking and listening to Club Kids Radio at www.wcev1450.com. She was in this very studio last Sunday along with Alonzo Alcaraz and Miguel Morales talking about I Heart You. Look it up. They sold out last night. They've only got 5 more shows to go on consecutive back-to-back, one right after another Friday, so you're going to have to check it out. In the meanwhile, 1032 already. We've got to take a requisito. When we return, more with Elizabeth Elias.
Just when I had thought I lost my way, you gave me strength to carry on. That's when I heard you say, I promise.
Good morning, kids. This is Bob Love of the Chicago Bulls, and you're listening to Harv Roman of the Kids Club Radio, and stay in school, young people.
Footprints in the sand, and help me understand where I'm going. You walked with me when I was all alone, with so much unknown along the way. Then I
tell me about some of the TV spots that you've done, because you've done commercials too. It's incredible everything that you've done. The more I read, the more I'm impressed.
Well, I've done Pollo Tropical, Tyson Chicken, Jungle in My Pocket. I've done a lot of prints like Home Depot, Dixie Cups, Kmart, American Girl. I've done a lot of runway shows like Baby Fat, Tommy Hilfiger, a lot of stuff. Yes.
Has there been a strategy? You say, you started singing when you're 3 years old. You're only 11 now. So between the age of 3 and 11, you've got this incredible career going on. Was there some kind of master plan, or you just kind of dove in with both feet and just stuff started happening?
I guess it just started happening, Like, it was an incredible feeling for me to start singing. It was just out of the blue,
And I want to warn a lot of the young people that are going to go on the YouTube and go on your Facebook and read about you and look at your videos. As much fun as it might be, and as good as you sound talking about it and what a great time you're having, it is work, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So tell me what the typical work day is like. If we include school, and then even not including school, I mean, you've got a lot that you've got to get done in your 24 hours, don't you?
Yes, I a lot. Practicing singing, practicing piano, practicing dancing, doing a lot of exercise, and schoolwork a lot, homework and all that stuff.
This is going to sound like a goofy question, but has there ever been times where you didn't get a part that you wanted, or you didn't get an account that you wanted, or you really wanted to do a song and it just didn't come out the way you thought it was going to come out? And if that did occur, how did you rebound like that? Because some people would be devastated, and I'm kind of curious as to how somebody as young as you might handle something that doesn't go quite the way you thought it might go.
Well, I've gone to castings for a lot of commercials and prints and all that stuff. And I haven't gotten it, but it's okay, There comes another time when you could do it again,
So you know going into the game that you're not going to win all the time.
Yes, that is very true.
When I look at some of the comments on your Facebook, or even some of the clicks that I got when I posted your video and talked about you being on Club Kids Radio, it seems as if the fan base that you have after somebody watches your video or listens to your music, it seems like you've got a whole lot of adult fans. How would you describe your fan base? Because if I look at a Sandy Castillo who clicked on it and said, "Good job, Harv, can't wait to hear the interview." She was doing freestyle music in 1990 and she's saying good job. I've got Omar Oviedo, who was a club kid. She's in her 20s. And then Sandy Esther, another one of my ex-club kids, who's in her 30s. So you ran the gamut already from 20s, 30s, and almost 40s. So it'll be nice to Sandy that likes what you're doing and have become fans of yours. What is actually what your fan base like, you think?
Well, it's like, I think it's everyone, every age. It could be anyone,
And when you have these receptions at your autograph sessions and you're in stores, what is that like to have people lined up to get your autograph, take pictures with you, and then it's and I'm sure it's moms and dads and daughters and sons too. It's not just one group, is it?
Yeah, it's very amazing, I just never thought that this would happen.
So if we fast forward another 11 years, let's tack on another 11 years to your life. You're 22 years old and you have been here twice as long as you are at the current moment. How do you think your career is going to be? What direction do you think you're going to be headed in as you head for the next 5 or 10 years? As young as you are, your future seems to be huge.
Well, I just really want to be a star, That's what it's really all about, because I've been practicing a lot, and I just, want to make it big.
Clock strikes upon the hour, and the sun begins to fade. Still enough time to figure out how to chase my blues away. I've done alright up till now. It's the light of day that shows me how. And every day when the night starts to fall,
There you go. Not even born when that song originally came out in the middle 80s. That is Elizabeth Elias. I Want to Dance with Somebody right here on Club Kids Radio, AM 1450, www.WCEV1450.com. And this afternoon, at some time after the Blackhawks game, I will post it to wakeupdancing.com. It's the Blackhawks. They might get to the Stanley Cup very, very soon. We also heard Elizabeth's music of Footprints in the Sand, and we heard that Selena tribute. We heard the Spanish version of the ABC 1, 2, 3, Do, Re, Mi, Say La Vie song, and we'll play the English version in a little while. It is 10:45 already. Moses Flores and Rachel in the chat box. A whole bunch of others in the chat box. Lisa, Amanda, Samantha, Sylvia. I got to get her to call and say happy birthday to her. Bianca, Yesenia, Tony, Rachel, their kids, Amanda and Gabriel. Talking about Amanda Flores next Sunday right here on Club Kids Radio. She will be here with a group from Kelvin Park High School. KP, are you with me? And they're very, very concerned about proposed budget cuts when it comes to the Chicago public school system. And they've decided that they want to talk about it. So they've been invited here, and we're going to be listening to their vantage point as to what is happening in Springfield and how that affects Kelvin Park and the rest of the Chicago public schools right here in Chicago, because we are from Chicago to the world. And we got to take another breakcito, right? We'll take the break, and when we return, more with Elizabeth Elias, and it's already 10:46. Will I have time to play the Moses Flores phone call? I don't know.
Denzel Washington for the Boys and Girls Clubs.
In my hand, I'm holding a 2-inch by 3-inch piece of paper that has changed the lives of millions of young people. It's kept them off drugs, out of gangs, and in school. Now, what could be that powerful and still fit in the palm of my hand? A membership card from the Boys and Girls Clubs. Every day, another 300 kids will join clubs all across the country. That's 300 kids who will be picking up a membership card instead of a gun or a needle or a knife. You know, too many people feel like they can't make a difference, but I'm telling you this. Put this card in the hands of a child, and you will change that child's life. Do that, and you can change the world. It's up to all of us. Support a program that works. The Boys and Girls Clubs, the positive place for kids.
For more information and to find out how you can support the Boys and Girls Clubs, call 1-800-854-CLUB. That's 1-800-854-CLUB.
Are there influences that you can talk about that has affected your drive to become a star, or maybe you have patterned your singing career after, or even an actress whose footsteps you want to follow in?
I really like Beyonce, Leona Lewis, who else?
Well, Beyonce's kind of a good one to choose because she's another one who started off as a teenager. And, you know, you're looking at teenagers from Houston who may or may not have had the support of whoever, and all of a sudden she's the biggest name in entertainment. And she's still a very young person.
Yes.
And she's doing the triple threat, too. You can see her do comedy, you can see her act, you can see her sing. You know, it's pretty nice, and it almost seems methodical, but when it happens, it's kind of like magic to have somebody be able to be that good in that many different things. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it is very neat.
Yeah, and so you would consider her to be an influence. How about as an actor or a dancer, people that you thought, that's kind of how I'd like to be.
Yeah, like definitely. I would like to be her because, she's a very good actor, very good dancer, very good singer. She's just amazing, and I want to follow her in her footsteps.
Club Kids Radio is interesting because we get kids from the Boys and Girls Clubs here in Chicago to participate in the radio show. Now, because I'm working at a school full-time, I've got kids from the school that come in every now and then. But it's another one of those programs where you've got kids listening, but then you also have the parents listening, because a lot of times we focus on the community and the organizations and the issues that face the communities. Now you've got opportunity to talk to, both parents and young people about, what it might be like to pursue being a star. Maybe at the age of 11 you might not be in the business of giving advice, but based on your experiences up until now, what kind of advice do you have for people that say, I'd really like to be like that Elizabeth Elias person?
I just want to, say, follow your dreams, because anything can happen. Just never give up,
Tell me about the support base that you have, be it the family or management or anything like that, because it would seem to me that if you didn't have support when you're pursuing these things, that it would be that much tougher to get done.
Yes, I have a lot of support from my parents, my whole family.
Yeah, her name is Elizabeth Elias. The latest project then is the remake of I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston, and there's a video and the song's recorded and everything. Is this something that's going to be readily available to everybody?
Well, it's available on YouTube, Facebook.
And we know already that you go to iTunes and get the ABC song, both, the salsa version, the bachata, the cumbia, the English version, all versions. And if you go to the YouTube, it's every video that you could think of, and the ones that I really was drawn to was Footprints in the Sand and Selena, basically because you had the tribute to an icon in the Latin music community. And then I liked the music with a message when you did the Footprints song, because it's not just about singing and dancing in that song, that there's really is a message to the music. Is this something that you're also trying to accomplish?
Yes, I just want to tell everybody that, to have faith, because anything can happen.
Wow. So it's an incredible thing. If people want to reach out to you and become fans of you and follow your career, how do you suggest they do that?
By following their dreams, to never give up.
Well, you will find Elizabeth Elias on Facebook. Clickety click. Do you approve anyone that looks for your friendship, or do you check them out first to make sure that they're cool people? And also the YouTube. Go to YouTube and look at the videos, because listening to the songs alone doesn't give what you do justice, because you've done a little bit of everything. At least on the YouTube channel, they can sample everything, and then if you go to the Elizabeth Elias page on web, it's your own website, and they can click on anything that they want and see what you've been up to. So you and whoever's supporting you, whoever's behind you, have done an incredible job of making sure that if somebody wanted to know about you and see what you've done, that they're able to do that. So in this day and age of multimedia, you've become a little princess of that at the age of 11. It's incredible.
Well, if you want to check out my website, you could go to elizabeth-elias.com.
Si quieres yo puedo enseñarte algo del amor. Siéntate, escúchame, préstame atención y repite el coro, canta mi canción.
Dag nabbit. Live radio is so red hot, and I already played the Spanish version, and Rachel and Gabriel already told me that, and I planned on playing English so I can do it all, but no. This is called Foot and Mouth Disease. Ooh, 10:52. It looks like we will have time to play a little bit of the Moses Flores interview that we did a couple of weeks ago. This way they can continue the little Mo party at the KP.
En español, que bien suena la palabra amor. Si quieres yo puedo enseñarte algo del amor. Siéntate, escúchame, préstame atención y repite el coro, canta mi canción. A veces más fácil que 1, 2, 3, más simple que mi, do, re. A veces 1, 2, 3, dime si lo entiendes. A veces más fácil que 1, 2, 3, más simple que mi, do, re. A veces 1, 2, 3, dime si lo entiendes. Déjame enseñarte cómo debe ser. El amor es algo que vas a aprender. Dime si tú quieres que te enseñe todavía más. Física y matemática son más fáciles de lo que crees. Educación para que sea completa. El amor hay que aprender. El profesor va a enseñarte cómo prepararte para enamorarte. De mí, yo de ti. Es algo tan fácil como esta canción.
That is the B-Kids with Elizabeth Elias, the ABC song. And I guess I labeled both tracks as English and Spanish, so I don't know which track is what, but in some weird way, shape, or form, Gabriel in Indiana is requesting that we played it, and I wanted to play both versions of it, but I can't read my handwriting or something. I don't know. It is 10:54. My thanks to Elizabeth Elias. Go to her Facebook page, go to her YouTube page, go to Elizabeth-Elias.com and learn more about her. We had about another 2 minutes of conversation with her, and we'll leave that for maybe next week as the KP kids come in and talk about their issues. But it is 10:54, and I had promised earlier that I was going to replay part of a telephone conversation, an unsolicited conversation that we had with Moses Flores, former club kid over at the Union League Boys and Girls Club 2, the classic one on Walcott and Race. And we covered a lot of topics, and then the power went out. You remember, Mo? The power went out. And then the conversation got cut, and sometimes listeners decide that they're going to go somewhere else to listen while the power is out. So this might be a part of a conversation that you were not able to listen to if you were listening live on that day and the power went out. So now the power's on, and it's Moises Flores on the Celebrity Hotline. This is Amanda's father. Amanda will be in studio next week with her KP buddies. Kelvin Park. 1450 AM Celebrity Hotline, you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Our power went out.
You're not having a good morning, are you?
No, it's not bad. I mean, the power went out for a minute. Everything got restored. Something crazy happened. The alderman wasn't able to go because his power probably went out too. That's something we didn't think about. It is 10:51 Club Kids Radio. We were knee deep into a conversation with Moses Flores, former club kid, who has done some good things, and he's done a couple things that he's not so proud of, and we've been talking about that. We talked about you, your life, your Boys and Girls Clubishness. If the power hadn't gone out, I would have been able to archive this conversation. I would have put it on wakeupdancing.com. Now I got to do some fancy dancing editing. It's always something around here.
Well, like I said, it probably was a signal from when the alderman didn't show up that things weren't just going to work out right this morning.
Yeah, it was the week after Easter, and all through the house, the power went out. Anyhow, I think there are a lot of people that if you go back to them now, the ones that kind of shook their fingers at you and maybe, walked away from you, gave you their back, at this point, they've got to feel a little bit of sense of pride for what you've been able to accomplish, and for your little girl as well, who's now college age, for the fact that she kind of, if anyone has every right to grow up goofed up, it's kids whose parents are also having issues, because who are you supposed to look up to when you're a child in terms of the role model? If it's not mom, it's